Have you ever felt undervalued, disregarded, or disrespected? Individuals may subtly undermine, frustrate, or even manipulate you without realizing their actions. This video presents 7 powerful strategies to effectively address disrespectful behavior, empowering you to reclaim your position and confidence. Pay close attention, as the 7th technique offers a transformative approach to handling such challenging situations. 1. Establish clear boundaries. Establishing personal boundaries is crucial for self-protection against disrespect, abuse, or exploitation. Weak or unclear boundaries invite disrespectful behavior, leading to feelings of devaluation, manipulation, and a loss of control in personal and professional relationships. Common mistakes in failing to set boundaries. The confusion between patience and weakness. Many believe that patience and kindness will automatically engender respect from others. However, this is rarely the case. Silence in the face of disrespect only reinforces the perception that such behavior is acceptable. Fear of disapproval or conflict. Some avoid setting boundaries for fear of appearing rude or difficult. In reality, conflict avoidance does not mitigate disrespect, rather, it allows the situation to deteriorate over time. Establishing clear boundaries yields significant benefits. Respectful individuals will adapt their behavior accordingly. Those who exploit others will withdraw, as their lack of genuine respect becomes apparent. This is ultimately positive, as it eliminates manipulative relationships. Clear boundaries foster self-confidence and a greater sense of control, eliminating feelings of resentment and injustice. Establishing effective boundaries, a practical guide. Clear, direct, and unapologetic communication. When setting boundaries, it's crucial to communicate assertively without apology or justification. For instance, addressing excessive teasing from a friend. I enjoy lighthearted banter, but I will not tolerate jokes that make me feel belittled. Please ensure our interactions remain respectful. Responding to a colleague consistently offloading their work. I have a substantial workload of my own and am unable to take on additional responsibilities. Countering a family member who consistently dismisses your opinions. I require my perspective to be heard before you offer your assessment. I expect this to be respected. Consistent enforcement of boundaries. Setting boundaries is insufficient, consistent adherence is paramount. If you compromise or relent, others will not perceive your boundaries as serious. For example, if a colleague persists in requesting assistance after your refusal, reiterate your boundary without engaging in argumentation. As previously stated, I am unable to assume this additional task. Maintaining emotional detachment. When establishing boundaries, remain calm and avoid anger or defensiveness. This preserves your control over the situation. If someone reacts negatively to your boundaries, remember that their response is not your responsibility. Understanding boundaries are not selfish. Respecting oneself and setting boundaries does not equate to selfishness or inconsiderateness. It demonstrates self-respect and fosters healthier relationships. Establishing clear boundaries is a proactive measure to protect your well-being and ensure respectful interactions. It is a sign of strength, not weakness, and contributes significantly to the overall quality of your personal and professional relationships. Consistent application of these principles will lead to improved communication and more fulfilling interactions. 2. Refrain from participating in power struggles. What constitutes a power game? Power games involve manipulative, controlling, or coercive behaviors employed within personal, familial, professional, or societal relationships. These actions may be subtle, such as psychological manipulation, coercion, information control, or the exploitation of emotions to influence others. Various forms of power games exist, including the silent treatment, where communication is withheld to pressure compliance, the reversal of victim roles, where the perpetrator assumes the position of victim to induce guilt, bullying, and intimidation, utilizing threats, authority, or guilt to control, and gaslighting, a tactic designed to undermine an individual's self-perception and judgment. Why you should avoid power games. Participation in power games carries significant detrimental consequences. Firstly, it engenders a debilitating cycle of negativity. Individuals become trapped in a perpetual state of conflict and stress, hindering personal well-being and productivity. Secondly, Involvement often leads to a loss of self-control. The inherent manipulations inherent in power struggles can subtly erode an individual's autonomy, leaving them vulnerable to exploitation and undue influence. Thirdly, engagement in such games represents a profound waste of valuable energy and resources. Instead of focusing on meaningful objectives and personal growth, participants become embroiled in unproductive and often meaningless conflicts, diverting attention and effort from more constructive pursuits. Finally, and perhaps most critically, consistent participation in power plays invariably erodes respect and trust. Those who habitually engage in such behavior cultivate a reputation for manipulation and self-serving ambition, ultimately undermining their credibility and hindering the formation of genuine, mutually beneficial relationships. The long-term costs of participating in power games significantly outweigh any perceived short-term gains. Recognizing power plays. Identifying manipulative individuals requires a keen awareness of their tactics. Such individuals deliberately provoke or coerce responses aligning with their desired outcomes. They employ emotional manipulation, inducing guilt or fear to control interactions. A defining characteristic is their relentless pursuit of winning, even in trivial matters, showcasing a competitive spirit. Strategies for avoiding manipulation in power dynamics. Maintaining emotional detachment. When confronted with deliberate provocation, refrain from immediate reaction. Preserve composure and prevent emotional responses from dictating your decisions. Remember that a strong reaction confirms your susceptibility to manipulation. For instance, if subjected to the silent treatment as a manipulative tactic, instead of succumbing to anxiety or attempting appeasement, continue with your tasks unaffected. Similarly, if faced with pointed criticism designed to unsettle you, respond with a neutral statement such as, "I understand your perspective," and avoid further argumentation. Establishing clear boundaries. If someone persistently attempts to exert undue influence, firmly define your limits. Direct confrontation isn't always necessary, but neither is acquiescence. For example, if a superior consistently assigns tasks beyond your designated responsibilities, state clearly, "I am happy to assist within the scope of my responsibilities, but I am unable to undertake additional work." If a friend consistently engages in emotionally manipulative behavior, assert, "I value our friendship, but I cannot accept this treatment." Refusal to engage in attempts to change others. Attempting to change someone unwilling to change is futile. Instead of engaging in a power struggle, focus on your objectives. For example, if someone consistently attempts to control conversations through manipulation, avoid engaging in arguments to prove your point. Maintain your position without becoming embroiled in protracted disputes. If someone attempts to induce guilt, remind yourself that their emotions are not your responsibility. Unyielding adherence to established positions. Individuals who engage in power plays often employ various tactics to test your resilience. Once boundaries are established, maintain your position without excessive explanation. For example, if someone persists in using abusive language to manipulate you, instead of engaging in argumentation, you might state, "I am uncomfortable with this tone. If this behavior continues, I will terminate this conversation." 3. Minimize contact with them. Limiting contact with individuals who exert a negative influence is crucial for maintaining well-being. Not everyone contributes positively to one's life. Some individuals induce feelings of exhaustion, stress, or manipulation. These individuals may exhibit controlling and manipulative behaviors, consistently express negativity and spread pessimism, harbor envy and attempt to undermine others, or engage in drama, rivalry, and power plays. Prolonged exposure to such individuals can lead to increased stress and decreased focus, entanglement in unnecessary conflicts, and a decline in self-confidence and motivation. Identifying individuals requiring limited interaction. Recognizing individuals with whom it is prudent to limit interaction necessitates careful observation of specific behavioral patterns. Individuals exhibiting the following characteristics consistently warrant a reassessment of the relationship's dynamics and a potential reduction in contact. Persistent negativity and complaining. Individuals who consistently focus on negativity, dwelling on misfortunes and setbacks, while rejecting constructive solutions and continuing to complain. demonstrate a pattern of behavior detrimental to mental well-being. Their inability to engage in problem-solving or accept support indicates a need for emotional distance. Manipulative and controlling behavior. Attempts to exert undue influence and control over decisions and actions are indicative of a manipulative personality. The use of guilt or coercion to achieve compliance, rather than respectful communication and collaboration, signals a need for establishing clear boundaries. Continued interaction with such individuals can be emotionally draining and potentially damaging. Conflict generation and drama. Individuals who actively create conflict, instigate arguments, spread rumors, or engage in gossip demonstrate a lack of respect for interpersonal harmony. Their actions disrupt social environments and contribute to a climate of negativity and distrust. Limiting contact with such individuals is essential for maintaining personal well-being and avoiding unnecessary stress. Envy and belittling behavior. A consistent pattern of envy, manifested by a failure to acknowledge or celebrate others' achievements, coupled with deliberate attempts to criticize, belittle, or undermine confidence, is a clear indicator of toxic behavior. Such individuals actively seek to diminish others' self-esteem, creating an environment of negativity and insecurity. Protecting one's emotional well-being requires establishing distance from these individuals. The consistent presence of these behaviors necessitates a reassessment of the relationship and the implementation of strategies to limit interaction and protect one's emotional health. Limiting exposure to negative individuals. Maintaining a healthy distance while complete severance isn't always necessary. Gradually reducing interaction is advisable. Minimize unnecessary conversations and encounters. For instance, respond briefly to excessive complaining instead of prolonging the interaction. "I understand. I hope things improve soon." Avoid engaging with individuals who create drama. Establishing clear boundaries when someone attempts to impose upon you. Assertively but tactfully set limits. For example, if a colleague frequently asks for favors without reciprocation, state, "I'm currently unavailable to assist. Please manage this independently." If a friend manipulates your emotions, say, "I respect your feelings, but I cannot always comply with your demands." Avoiding unnecessary conflict. Negative or manipulative individuals often seek to engage you in arguments. Engaging in conflict provides them further opportunity to control you. Solution: do not react to provocation. Maintain neutral responses or change the subject. If necessary, disengage discreetly. Cultivating positive relationships as you reduce time spent with negative individuals. Actively seek out and connect with those who possess a positive outlook. Participate in groups, communities, or environments conducive to learning and personal growth. For example, cultivate friendships with like-minded individuals who value learning. Dedicate more time to those who genuinely care for and respect you. 4. Respond with silence. The strategic power of silence. In numerous situations, silence is not a sign of weakness or inaction, but rather a potent form of response. When confronted with negativity, manipulation, or aggression, engaging in argument or strong counter-reaction only fuels the aggressor. Conversely, silence allows you to maintain composure and emotional control. Avoid unproductive arguments. Disincentivize further attacks or manipulation. Retain agency and prevent emotional hijacking. For instance, if someone persistently criticizes or attacks you, responding only provides further opportunity. Silence, however, often diminishes their interest due to the lack of desired reaction. Strategic application of silence. Addressing provocation or aggression. Certain individuals thrive on conflict, seeking to inflate their ego or control others' emotions. Responding forcefully only reinforces this behavior. The solution: pause, breathe, and avoid immediate reaction. Remain calm, maintain silence or disengage. Example: a colleague attempts to publicly humiliate you. Instead of engaging, offer a neutral expression or remain silent. Similarly, ignore provocative or accusatory messages. Avoiding negative energy absorption. Some individuals perpetually disseminate negativity, complaints, or gossip. Engagement only encourages continuation. The solution: avoid participation. If unavoidable, respond neutrally or remain silent. Example: a colleague constantly complains about the company. superiors, or life. A simple nod or silence is sufficient, rather than agreement or argument. Similarly, ignore attempts to draw you into negativity. Countering manipulation. Manipulative individuals utilize language to induce guilt or compliance. The solution: refuse to react to manipulative tactics. Avoid explanation or justification. Example: someone consistently seeks your help but never reciprocates. When you refuse, they claim, "I thought you were a better person." Remain silent. No justification is necessary. Similarly, ignore attempts to make you feel inadequate through comparison. Preserving personal peace. Silence often serves as the optimal method for safeguarding tranquility and avoiding negative situations. The solution: avoid unproductive arguments. Prioritize what warrants your attention. Example: ignore negative online comments. In familial disputes, silence can preserve harmony. Silence, not passivity. Silence does not equate to submission or weakness. It is a tool for controlling the situation rather than being controlled. Maintaining your position without argument. Encouraging self-reflection in others. Example: ignoring provocation reveals your resilience to manipulation. Similarly, ignoring imposed opinions demonstrates your independence. When silence is inappropriate, serious injustice. If silence leads to exploitation or harm, speak up. Protecting your rights. If your rights or reputation are violated, respond assertively but proportionately. When intervention is necessary, silence can imply complicity in wrongdoing. 5. Self-respect demands the establishment of clear boundaries. Self-respect and establishing boundaries are crucial for personal well-being. Self-respect involves valuing your worth, protecting your emotional well-being, and preventing others from exploiting you. Clearly defined boundaries provide several key benefits: preventing exploitation and manipulation, controlling interactions with negative individuals, maintaining self-esteem and confidence, and avoiding harmful situations. For instance, a friend consistently requesting favors without reciprocation will continue to exploit your kindness unless boundaries are set. Similarly, a colleague constantly offloading their work will lead to burnout if you fail to refuse their requests. Indicators you haven't established boundaries. You experience fatigue and burnout from consistently prioritizing others' needs. You struggle to assert no, even when it's detrimental to your well-being. You feel exploited or disrespected in your relationships. You frequently tolerate negativity from others without resistance. For example, your supervisor consistently assigns tasks beyond your responsibilities, yet you fail to refuse. A friend repeatedly borrows money without repayment, and you continue to assist for fear of jeopardizing the friendship. Establishing effective boundaries. A practical guide. Clearly defining your boundaries. Initially, identify situations, interactions, or requests that cause discomfort or infringement upon your well-being. This necessitates a comprehensive assessment of your personal limits across various aspects of life, including but not limited to time constraints, physical and mental health, financial resources, professional commitments, and emotional well-being. For example, a time boundary might be articulated as, "I am unavailable for work-related tasks after 7 p.m. A financial boundary could be expressed as, "I am unable to lend money unless repayment terms are clearly established and mutually agreed upon." An emotional boundary might be defined as, "I will not engage with individuals who consistently exhibit judgmental or negative behaviors." Assertively communicating no when declining requests or offers. Avoid excessive explanations. A clear, concise, and firm no is sufficient. Do not succumb to feelings of guilt or obligation. Examples: responding to a request for assistance when time is limited, "I apologize, but my schedule does not permit me to assist at this time." Responding to repeated requests for financial assistance, "I am unable to provide financial assistance at this time." Refuting attempts to induce guilt. Some individuals may attempt to manipulate your emotions by employing guilt-inducing tactics such as, "You're being selfish. I expected better from you. If you refuse, I will face significant difficulties." Remember, you are not obligated to fulfill the expectations or demands of others at the expense of your own well-being. Maintain composure. Avoid engaging in arguments, and firmly reiterate your position. I have the autonomy to make decisions that prioritize my own well-being. Disengaging from detrimental relationships. If an individual consistently disregards your established boundaries, consider reducing or eliminating contact. Do not allow negative influences to compromise your mental health or overall quality of life. Examples: a friend who consistently exploits your generosity without reciprocation. Terminate the investment of time and energy in this relationship. A colleague who habitually assigns blame and avoids accountability. Maintain professional distance and avoid collaborative endeavors whenever possible. 6. Do not allow this to become a personal matter. When confronted with negativity, manipulation, or harmful behavior, it is crucial to avoid internalizing the actions of others. Common pitfalls include feeling personally offended by criticism or disrespect, believing oneself inadequate due to criticism, and attempting self-modification solely to please others. The reality is that another's negative behavior typically reflects their own issues, not yours. They may be projecting anger, envy, or attempting manipulation. While you cannot control another's actions, you can absolutely control your response. Why you shouldn't take everything personally. Protecting your emotional and psychological well-being requires establishing boundaries. This prevents manipulation and maintains self-confidence, shielding you from negativity. Prioritize self-worth over the pursuit of universal approval. For instance, a harsh critique from a colleague. Interpreting this as a personal attack fosters self-doubt and vulnerability. Alternatively, consider external factors, personal issues or ulterior motives, to mitigate the impact of their words. Similarly, comparisons and criticisms from relatives suggesting inadequacy should be recognized as their subjective opinions, not reflections of your inherent value. How to avoid personalizing everything, a practical guide. Maintaining objective perspective. Begin by questioning the validity of external opinions. Ask yourself, does this criticism truly reflect my inherent worth? Or is it merely a subjective judgment from another individual? Avoid allowing emotions to cloud rational thought. Analyze situations logically and dispassionately. For example, if someone asserts, "You work too slowly," resist the urge to take offense. Instead, objectively evaluate, am I genuinely working at a suboptimal pace? Or is this merely their perception? This self-assessment allows for constructive self-improvement without succumbing to unwarranted criticism. Eschewing external validation. The constant pursuit of external validation renders one susceptible to negative feedback. Cultivate self-assuredness and confidence independent of external affirmation. Your self-worth should not be contingent upon the opinions of others. Consider this scenario. You wear a new outfit, and someone criticizes your choice. Instead of succumbing to self-doubt and altering your attire, firmly reiterate, "I am dressing for myself, not to appease the preferences of everyone." This assertive stance reinforces self-acceptance and resilience against unwarranted criticism. Avoiding reactive emotional responses. When confronted with criticism, refrain from immediate emotional responses such as anger or sadness. Practice controlled breathing techniques to maintain composure and carefully consider your response before reacting. For instance, imagine a demanding customer criticizing your service. An angry retort would only exacerbate the situation. Instead, maintain composure and respond professionally, addressing their concerns with calm and measured responses. This approach demonstrates emotional intelligence and professionalism. Recognizing external sources of negativity. Negative individuals often project their personal issues onto others. Their behavior may stem from envy, resentment, or personal struggles. Their actions are a reflection of their internal state, not a judgment of your character. For example, a consistently judgmental colleague may criticize you, yet exhibit similar behavior towards others. This pattern reveals the source of the negativity lies within the colleague, not within you. Understanding this dynamic allows for detachment and prevents the internalization of unwarranted criticism. 7. Depart when necessary. The importance of strategic disengagement. Life presents relationships, jobs, and situations that yield no positive value, instead harming your mental and emotional well-being. Recognizing an unsuitable environment or individual necessitates decisive action, disengagement. This protects your well-being, A common fallacy is remaining in a toxic environment for fear of loss, job security. Relationships, familiarity. Similarly, individuals endure toxic relationships believing they can affect change. Fear of judgment or perceived failure also inhibits disengagement. The reality is that you cannot always alter others or circumstances. Disengagement is not weakness or failure, it is a prudent self-preservation strategy. Remaining in a negative environment depletes energy, erodes confidence, and limits opportunities for growth. When should you leave? When you consistently experience emotional or psychological harm. When a relationship or environment becomes toxic and shows no signs of improvement. When you have attempted to resolve issues without success. When you feel a loss of self and are unable to live according to your values. When you recognize that you can thrive elsewhere. Practical examples. A job that causes burnout, lacks recognition, and is consistently stressful. Leaving may be the best path to new opportunities. A relationship that consistently causes harm, psychological manipulation, and control. Ending it will restore your freedom. A group of friends who consistently involve you in negative activities and do not support your growth. Abandoning them can lead to more positive connections. How to leave a negative situation effectively. A strategic approach. Assessing the severity of negativity. Determine whether the situation or relationship warrants continuation. A thorough evaluation is crucial. If the situation demonstrably impacts your mental well-being, personal growth, or physical health, it is a clear indication that disengagement is necessary. For example, a persistently stressful job offering limited opportunities for advancement and providing no sense of fulfillment necessitates the pursuit of alternative employment. Psychological preparation and strategic planning. Leaving a negative situation can induce anxiety and uncertainty. However, meticulous preparation significantly mitigates these challenges. In the context of employment, securing a new opportunity prior to resignation is strongly recommended. Similarly, in interpersonal relationships, a well-defined plan is essential to avoid relapse into detrimental patterns. For instance, when departing from a toxic work environment, securing alternative employment before submitting a resignation minimizes financial instability. In the case of an unhealthy relationship, a gradual reduction in contact, rather than abrupt severance, may be a more effective and less emotionally disruptive approach. Avoiding unnecessary guilt. Allowing guilt to impede your departure is counterproductive. Prioritizing self-preservation is not only acceptable but essential. You have an inherent right to safeguard your well-being without experiencing unwarranted self-reproach. For example, if a friend consistently exploits your generosity and you choose to discontinue the friendship, experiencing guilt is inappropriate. You're acting in your own best interests. Maintaining resolve. External pressures and fear should not deter you from pursuing a positive change. Regularly reaffirm the reasons for your departure and the benefits derived from this decision. Consistent self-reinforcement is vital. For instance, if you have terminated a toxic relationship and the other party attempts reconciliation, firmly reiterate the reasons that initially prompted the separation. This resolute approach is crucial for maintaining personal boundaries and preventing a return to a detrimental situation. Respect cannot be demanded, but you can absolutely control how others treat you. If you find these strategies helpful, please like the video and comment on how you will implement them in your life. Subscribe to the channel for more videos to help you develop yourself, build confidence, and create the life you deserve. Which strategy resonated most with you? Comment below.